Hey crafters, Phyllis here from Cloth Paper Treasures, bringing you some specialty envelopes we're going to make today. Yes, we are starting with a fantastically stenciled with ink type of envelope, embossed rose, sweet as can be, all pink, embossed scrolling vine, all pink and sweet as can be, and then finally another embossed rose, blue and gold, all shiny. Here are the plain templates that we're going to work with. This features the one with the scallops and the little punch holes. Here's one that's fun, especially when we use a 3D closure like a jingle bell at Christmas time. Yeah, wait till we do that video sometime. Okay, putting this type aside, we're gonna actually deal with this other style and go from there. All right, so all organized now. I'm going to use my specialty paper, which if you stick with me till the end, I'm going to tell you more about how you get coffee dyed paper with a special glittery gleam to it. Yes, I will. Now this paper is embossed on legal size. Of course, we can deal with standard size anytime we want. I think this smaller template is going to fit on there perfectly. So I'm going to trace it, cut it out, and make some score marks, fold, and we'll be in business. So now I want to talk to you a little bit while I cut. When I cut, I try to cut on the inside of the pencil lines, but it's no big deal if I don't, because I'm going to distress ink to the nth degree later anyway, which will cover up any of the pencil lines. Just do your best to cut as uniformly as possible. You don't have to have embossed paper, but it is nice if you have my specialty paper of coffee dyed with a glittery gleam effect. All right, we're just about all cut out here, and it will be time to score some fold marks, but isn't that pretty? Oh, yes. So, all right, I do have a score board, but when I'm just doing a little project like this, I just take a ruler and my handy dandy nail file after I make a few little pencil marks that'll just help me see the white on white here. Yeah, just my nail file has come in so handy, making like about 3 passes, just a slight dent in the paper, so it's going to fold very nicely, shortly, and I'm all set. Let me finish doing that, and we'll fold, and then we'll do some distress inking. Because we leave no ideas unfulfilled, do we? If you're enjoying this content so far, be sure to subscribe, like, and share this video. Be sure to hit the notification bell so you can get more videos like this every time. Sometimes with embossed, you need to be just a little bit careful. The paper can fray just a little bit, but then it lends to that vintage look, doesn't it? Right, now the journal I want to put all this in is rather vintagey. I don't do everything vintagey, and I want to just point out to you that remember, today is somebody's tomorrow vintage. So I'm going to be bringing you some more modern looking types of projects at times, but right now we're in the throes of vintage. All right, getting out my distressed ink, worn lipstick. I'll start out, very carefully, and then, as is kind of typical of me, I'll get rather heavy-handed after a while. But just testing it out, testing out the limits, until finally I'll just spread a whole lot of worn lipstick pink across the project, having taken my foam brush to do the edges in more of a sepia brown. Okay, I'm really liking that. I believe it is finished, and there it is. Okay, it's time to glue this project. I'm just going to take a glue stick. You can use a bead of glue or double-sided tape, of course. Now I'm going to point out here that next time I won't glue the flaps. I'll just glue the bottom where my left hand was instead, because there's exposed area of glue here now that I would have rather not have gotten all sticky, but it's okay. It's working out great. Use the bone folder to really press it down. I was surprised when I first went to use the bone folder just how effective that is. Alright, now we're taking the scrolly vine embossed and going to do the larger version, which this will of course fit on standard size paper. Just kind of reviewing the scoring here. 3 passes with the nail file does the trick. I'll boldly fold. Use the bone folder for a sharp crease. And then I'll set about gluing this too, but not before. I distress ink it as well. I'm really a fan of that warm lipstick pink. Watch me go for it. I just don't have a dauber yet, so I find this cheap, really cheap, and it kind of falls apart too. Foam brush does the trick. Whatever it takes, right? Okay, time to glue. And notice the sheen. Well, how I achieve that sheen is when I coffee dye my paper, I promptly take it out, set it on a towel, and dab and daub a lot of metallic silver and gold paint in just a certain way that if you'd like to see how I do that, I have linked that video in the description below. All right, finishing up here. Pinked to the nth degree and a sharp crease. Okay, so we're going to be further bold and we're going to make the scallop. The scallop envelope needs to be made. So on just plain, unembossed, I'll say, paper that is indeed coffee dyed with gleam, we're going to make the scallop envelope. So there it is. I painstakingly cut out all the scallops. They're not perfect, but they'll look more perfect once I punch perfect holes with just an ordinary hole puncher. I'll set about doing a lot of stenciling. I love my mandala stencils. I don't really have a lot of flowery, vintagey looking stencils at present, so I'm just going to make this work. When I carefully clip the stencil on, I have much more control. And here I've spread out the entire envelope so that when you open the flap, it's a continuous design, which you'll see shortly. I'm sparing no purple. Isn't that pretty? I'm thrilled with it. I am thinking, though, more color would be better. So I went ahead and stenciled teal and green, and now I really like what I've got. There's nothing vintage about this design, but when I add it to my junk journal with this pocket that's just waiting for something to be stuffed into it, I just find that that's pretty nifty. Now as I flip through the journal, you'll see here's where the embossed little pink envelope, sweet as can be, is right there. And in yet another pocket is the larger version, the scrolling embossed. And then finally, the second rose embossed that you didn't see me do, but I had a lot of fun with navy blue and orange gold. Now upcoming, we're going to do another scalloped envelope out of flimsy table napkin. Wait till you see how I achieve this beautiful look in an upcoming video. By the way, you can get physical sets of these fancy envelopes and more in my Etsy shop. Just explore the link in the description below where you can also find the free templates to make your own envelopes.